What's up, guys? This one we all saw coming. Doug Pederson finally fired after going 3-14 or 4-13, whatever this year. The Jaguars finally fire him. Old Dougie P, old Mister Philly Special. He's finally fired. I think that this was well warranted. Um, in Jacksonville, he just completely fell apart. We watched a guy who came in with a pretty decent team in Jacksonville, and he made them worse each year. He made Trevor Lawrence worse. He made the offense worse. He just made everything worse. And they were saying how bad Urban Meyer was and how much a dumpster fire Jacksonville was with because Urban Meyer and how he was coaching. Now we see it's more than Urban Meyer. This is the second coach that's had trouble. Well, they've gone back, had trouble with coaches for a long time now. Even back to Tom Coughlin, he didn't get along with the organization. He kind of was running things back then. And then Jack Del Rio, they fired him. Then you had Urban Meyer. They had a few coaches in between then. I can't even remember the names. They have so many coaches. And now Doug Pederson. But Doug really, he hit his peak in Philly. I think Philly was the perfect spot for him. I think he honestly didn't really ever really want to coach in Jacksonville. He just coached in Jacksonville because, it was an open opportunity and he saw, oh, I could have this young, really good quarterback named Trevor Lawrence. Maybe that will work, But I don't think so. It didn't work. And I think that now he'll go back to being, an offensive coordinator. But I don't think he'll get hired this year. I think he'll get hired, the year after because I think he needs a break. He needs to go sit down. He needs to watch some film, learn how to be a coach again because what we saw this year in Jacksonville was a complete disaster. Jacksonville they had the number one pick. They drafted Brian Thomas, the receiver. He's great. They got Christian Kirk, who was made a Pro Bowl before, and really his career was ascending up. They got Evan Ingram, who his career was ascending up. He had his best year, like 2 years ago. They got Travis Etienne. They're loaded offense. Loaded offense. They got Bigsby, the other running back. And what did Doug Pederson do? Old Dougie P ruined it somehow. Old Dougie P was calling terrible plays and just looking lost out there. He just was looking lost as a head coach. And it's kind of surprising to me because in Philly, he looked like a good head coach. And I was one of the people that was upset when he got fired. I didn't think he deserved it. But now we can see that that's why I'm not a GM in the NFL. And that's why the GMs get paid the big bucks to make those tough decisions and fire coaches, even after they won you a Super Bowl. Because this what could happen. We see when he went to a team with lesser talent in a more difficult situation, he didn't get it done. It was actually quite bad, the years. I don't know what years were worse, his years or Urban Meyer's 1 year. I would say Doug's because he has previous experience at the NFL level and he won a Super Bowl. So people really had high hopes that he was going to turn Trevor Lawrence around and, make things better. Trevor Lawrence was like generational talent, they said, but I don't see it. He made him worse. So to me, Doug Pederson has to go. I thought they were going to fire him last year, but that would have been a little too soon after already firing the other coach. I just think Jacksonville is in a no-win situation. I actually went to a few Jacksonville games before, like 2 of them. And both times I went, the stadium was like half filled. And there wasn't a lot of energy in the air. The team wasn't that good at the time. So I guess, the fans weren't that excited. But it just seems like Jacksonville isn't the best town for this NFL team. I think that they should... If I was them, I'd probably move, but, that's controversial. But also the owner, to me, he's very rich and very competitive. He's very impatient, and that causes a lot of problems. He thought he could come in to the NFL and just buy wins and just buy coaches. He's always firing and hiring guys. And, that doesn't work. We see with the track record of other teams that when you have consistency like the Patriots had with Robert Kraft, Bill Belichick, and Tom Brady for 15, 17 years, that's what works. Or look at Andy Reid. the Chiefs owner, Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes. They've been together all these years. Consistency, that wins championships. When you're constantly changing offensive coordinators, constantly changing coaches, for Trevor Lawrence now, this is going to be like his fourth or fifth offensive coordinator he'll have. Poor guy. How do you expect him to be successful in the league when he keeps getting coaches changes? He didn't ever experience this in high school. In high school, he won every game. He was the number one recruit. And then in college, he won basically almost every game, won some national championships, had Dabo Swinney as his coach, who was very, stable, secure. They didn't have many changes. There wasn't a lot of whole changes going on there. It was very secure program. But then he went to Jacksonville and like everything is on his shoulders. And he had a few good years, but unfortunately, they just don't make good coaching decisions, don't make good GM decisions, and the owner is just way too impatient. So he's really ruining the career of Trevor Lawrence and the offensive line that he put out there. We know it's not the best, and we saw Trevor Lawrence get injured, multiple times this year, and he actually ended the season on a season-ending injury. And then we saw Mac Jones come in. They can go ahead and release Mac Jones as well. We've seen enough of Mac Jones. He has no potential in this league. I thought he did a little bit with the Patriots when he made the playoffs that first year, but that was just they had a really good team. It wasn't him. He's a guy that can only be successful at like an Alabama where you have everybody around you that makes you successful. Same with Trevor Lawrence. It seems like he needs a lot of guys to be successful, but he's already showed he's had some success in the league, but we need to see more. And then Dougie P, he definitely needs a lot of guys to be successful. I just feel like he lost his way as a coach. And when I would watch some of the games, it would just look chaos on the sideline. Everybody would look confused. Everybody would be just like, this picture's perfect of how Dougie P, he would just be confused. And his play calls wouldn't make no sense. And that the offense isn't able to, make plays or score more when you have all this talent. Something's happening. I feel like him and Trevor didn't have the best relationship. I feel like Trevor's fed up in Jacksonville. I think if he could, he would probably ask for a trade and get out of Jacksonville. But this isn't the NBA. So in the NFL, you got to play out your contract. And I think he probably already signed his rookie extension. So he'll be there a while. But there's just no consistency in Jacksonville. And Jacksonville hasn't been good for a while since the Blake Bortles, Jalen Ramsey years. And you see how they won then. They won with their defense. They won with, throwing a little bit, run game. Like, it was more of a, defensive game manager team. And I think that's what you need to be successful in Jacksonville. I think you need to build a good team, have a quarterback just manage the game, and do like that. I think that would be successful because right now they have a lot of weapons on offense. So you need to build up that defense, and you need to get some consistency at GM. You need to get some consistency at coaching, and stop firing and hiring guys. This next guy, go get somebody like a Mike Vrabel or somebody big name and stick with them for 5 years. Give him some time. Give Trevor Lawrence some time to relax, some time to get to know his coach, some time to get to know, the staff, so we can see how he looks when he has, consistent coaches, consistency in the front office. He doesn't, it's clear we already seen he doesn't thrive well in chaos. He comes from Clemson. They're very structured. But all right, guys, please like, comment, and subscribe. It's Bias Sports. I'm out.